You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. A New York man drowned Sunday night in Luzerne County. Authorities were called to Quail Hollow Village in Beach Mountain around 6:30 for a report of an unresponsive man floating in the water. Kayakers discovered 61-year-old Alexander Spector of Brooklyn, New York, near a small island in the Lake of the Four Seasons. He was taken ashore on a pontoon boat where emergency responders performed life-saving maneuvers. Sadly, Spector was later pronounced dead at the scene. A Schuylkill County man was flown to an area hospital Friday night after being involved in a stabbing incident. The stabbing happened around 10:40 p.m. in the area of Kennedy Drive and Jackson Street in McAdoo. The unidentified victim told police he was walking in the street before sustaining a stab wound to his lower abdomen by a male suspect. Police say a vehicle may have been involved in the incident before fleeing the scene, but no other details have been released at this time. Authorities are asking anyone with information to call the McAdoo Police Department at 570-929-2590. Wilkes-Barre police are asking for the public's help identifying 3 people involved in a fast food assault. According to police, the individuals seen in these surveillance photos have allegedly brutally beaten a McDonald's employee. Anyone with information on their identities is being asked to call the Wilkes-Barre Police Department at 570-208-4125 or message their Facebook page. A Hazleton man was sentenced to serve nearly 50 years in prison after he pled guilty to a shooting in Hazleton. 33-year-old Chandel Devon George admitted to fatally shooting 51-year-old Todd Martin during a fight at Lucky Charms Bar on East 5th Street back on February 19th of 2019. Alex Bonilla was also shot in the stomach by George during the incident. George was scheduled to go to trial next week, but decided to plead guilty to third-degree murder and aggravated assault last Friday. Luzerne County Judge David Lupa sentenced George to serve 25 to 50 years behind state prison bars. The Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry wants to remind residents receiving unemployment benefits that work search requirements will resume this week. Because claimants file for benefits the week after they're unemployed, individuals will start certifying that they looked for work beginning Sunday, July 18th. LNI encourages job seekers to register on the PA Career Link website to learn more about programs such as training assistance, education classes, and resume assistance. Employment and training programs are available for people who qualify for both Medicaid and SNAP. Services offered statewide at PA Career Link offices are free of charge for unemployed residents looking for a job. Luzerne County Council will resume meeting in person tomorrow night at 6 for the first time in more than 16 months. County Council meetings will now be held in a hybrid format, so the public will have the option to participate remotely. However, the public will still have to enter the courthouse via the lower entrance at the parking lot level. The south entrance to the courthouse near the meeting room will remain closed at this time, as the Sheriff's Department, which is in charge of security for county buildings, is dealing with staffing issues. Instructions for those who wish to watch or participate remotely are posted online at luzernecounty.org. Other county boards will also be resuming in-person meetings soon, including the Flood Protection Authority, scheduled for next Tuesday, July 20th. Change feels good, especially if it's been a long time coming, and legislation passed this morning ensures that Pennsylvania remains competitive in its pursuit of recruiting collegiate athletes. Governor Tom Wolf joined Penn State athletes, university leadership, and lawmakers at Beaver Stadium to celebrate the signing of Act 26 of 2021, allowing collegiate athletes across the Commonwealth to profit from their name, image, and likeness, or NIL.
For too long, college athletes were barred from earning compensation for endorsements like these. forced to allow other entities to profit off of their successes in order to continue playing the sports they love. Now, our athletes will no longer be forced to choose between receiving fair compensation and continuing to play. You're going to be able to do both.
Act 26 amends the public school code to allow Pennsylvania's collegiate athletes to earn money through endorsements, such as sponsorships and appearances, and still be allowed to compete.
At Penn State, we have more than 800 varsity student athletes who've raised the bar for dedication and work ethic and the pursuit of excellence. Our student athletes are an impressive group, and it's our responsibility to do everything we can to ensure their success beyond college.
All that being said, this does not allow student athletes to receive payment for an athletic achievement or playing a sport. Rather, Pennsylvania's new law will provide student athletes with an opportunity to benefit financially from their NIL.
Do you know how that boosts their morale? To know now that you can be compensated for things that you couldn't be compensated for in the past? It helps them as they develop into pro athletes to know how to deal with different endorsements, to know how to deal with different financial situations that before wasn't available to them. And so when we talk about the development of our student athletes, we should celebrate this as a success because we're teaching them not only entrepreneurial skills, but how to take care of their careers right here where they're supposed to take care of it in college.
After years of discussion and debate, this important step toward fairness for athletes aligns with changes taking place in other states and at the national level within the NCAA.
The statement program is designed to prepare them with preparation for their life after Penn State for a lifetime of impact. Statement accomplishes this by providing comprehensive education and connecting students with the abundant resources that are available here at Penn State.
The signing of Act 26 also ensures that colleges and universities across the Keystone State remain competitive to future athletic prospects.
NIL is not only about making money, but about equal rights for students. Before now, any other student on any other scholarship could capitalize on their name, image, and likeness, and now the playing field has been leveled. I am incredibly grateful, excited for the future, and above all, inspired. Inspired by what I've already seen this past week and for what I know is to come. And as always, I am proud to be a Penn Stater.
We are part of this amazing university for 4 or so years, but we are part of the Penn State family forever. We all know the brand and recognition name that comes with saying, I go to Penn State. That gives student athletes a unique chance to succeed not only in athletics, but in academics as well, which is why this NIL bill is such a great opportunity that's presented to us.
Coming up on Wyln News, details on an LVHN EMT program, plus who's Marty talking sports with this week? But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Alexander Bonoma. I'm 12 years old, and get your umbrellas out because tomorrow's Wyln forecast is rain.
We want your child to be our Wyln Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on Wyln News and Wyln social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the Wyln News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
What's on TV? Plenty. WYLN TV 35, the best in local programming.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton. We're talking about TNT. We're talking about trucks and trade-ins. If you got a truck that you don't want or you're looking for a truck, we've got a huge selection of pre-owned trucks right now. We have got Rubicons. We have got GMCs, Ford Flexes. We have got a Ram dually diesel. If you're in the market for a truck or you want to get rid of your truck, you'll never get more ever than it's worth right now. So come on down to 508 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazleton and see why we'll give you more for the trade that those other guys won't.
Dreaming about a career as an emergency medical technician? Then Lehigh Valley Health Network has an opportunity for you. And WYLN's Julie Stefanovich has the details.
The Lehigh Valley Health Network will be conducting a fall EMT training program where up to 5 candidates will be hired as students with LVHN EMS in Hazleton.
So they would be employed by Lehigh Valley Health Network as full-time employees with the sole purpose of attending school to learn how to become and get trained how to become an emergency medical technician. While they're doing that, they'll be getting paid to go to school, and they'll also be splitting their time between their classroom as well as working with our paratransit service to accommodate the hours they need to be considered a full-time employee.
The goal of the program is to continue to develop emergency medical providers for the Hazleton area. Currently, there's a shortage of providers not only in Hazleton but nationwide. So LVHN is taking measures to help individuals pursue a career in healthcare. Gans explains the requirements that are needed to join the program.
We're going to hire you as an employee, so there'll be a pre-employment requirements that they will go through, and our recruiting team would work hand in hand with them to do that. We would pay their tuition to go to school, as well as they'll be getting paid a base salary to go to school and work with us at LVHN EMS. Basically, they'll get a pre-employment physical. They'll go through all of that as an employee of the health network.
Classes will begin on September 13th and be held Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. and every other Saturday from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Once the training is completed, students will have the opportunity to receive real-world experience.
Once they become an emergency medical technician, they'll work, once they complete that training of the class, I guess I should say, they will have extensive training for several weeks afterwards. They will be riding as a third person with seasoned EMTs and paramedics, learning how to apply what they've acquired as far as skill set and knowledge in the classroom to actually caring for patients out in the real world, how to take care of them, how to communicate with our hospital colleagues at the emergency departments that we will respond to and take these patients to.
Interested candidates can apply by going to lvhn.org and searching careers. The deadline to apply is August 5th. Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you, Julie. WYLN's all-time OT hero Marty Burns has the in-depth analysis of what's happening on and off-season across our viewing area. MMI baseball and golf coach Ryan Jastrzemski's on this week, so let's talk sports. Here's part 1.
Before we get started, as we mentioned, the district championship and your senior group, and we'll get to them in a little bit, they really focused on, especially I believe Marcus Stanchison was quoted in the Hazleton Standard Speaker talking about winning it as a freshman, losing a tough district championship as a sophomore. They were really looking forward to that junior season for a little redemption. COVID hits, there's no spring season. First of all, when that happened, what was the mood of your team?
Obviously, it was a huge letdown. Like you said, I think a lot of our players, me as the head coach, my staff, we all thought the 2020 team had a chance to really be special. This year's team ended up being special, don't get me wrong. I think we all thought that 2020 was going to be our best year, our best chance of really making noise. For as good as this year's team was, the 2020 team was going to be a little bit more complete, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We would have had 3 outstanding senior outfielders, senior catcher in A.J. Jordan, who's now playing at Marywood University. It would have allowed us to keep Kevin and Colin at the corners in the infield. Our middle infielder would have been much strong. We still would have had a very good Marcus Danchison, who he was great as a sophomore.
Right.
His junior year he would have been great too. I think we would have just been a little more complete of a team, and capable of making a little bit more noise. We'll never know. I mean,
right.
It was obviously a huge letdown. Felt so bad for those seniors. That was the first group that I had at the school from 7th grade up. First on the mid-school team, and then when I became the varsity coach, they moved up with me. So it would have been really nice to see those guys through and let them have their senior year and see what they could have accomplished.
Coming up on Elysburg's News Choice, more on how you can help support the family of Hector Padilla and Community in You. Plus, who's leading the way this week? Stay with us and find out.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information.
Hi, I'm Marty Burns, host of a new show here on Wyln, Let's Talk Sports. We're going to talk between our basketball and football seasons. We're going to talk to coaches, guests about past seasons, events coming up, different types of things sports related. It's all going to be here on Let's Talk Sports, and you'll be able to see it here on Wyln.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
From the bottom of our hearts, the WYLN TV 35 family would like to say thank you to all essential workers for your service to our community and for keeping us safe.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the Hazleton One Community Center here with WYLN News, and we're just talking about a few different things going on here. The first big one, unfortunately, it's not as much happy news, but it's something that's very important and something that we wanted to put out there for our audience to know about. we're talking about a GoFundMe that's been started for Hector Padilla. So why don't we start off just talking about what happened to Hector Padilla for those who don't know?
Hector was hit by a car that nobody knows until now because the person let Hector on the floor and go. But we are trying to find that person. That's why we start the activity. We're gonna have a reward for somebody that bring information in order to catch that person.
And how did this all come about? Did you guys talk with Hector's family and work that out? How did the GoFundMe start with you guys here and making that work all together?
Yes, we all the time we are in contact with the family, the mother and the family. And we start that activity in coordination with them because Hector was our children. We have different activity. I can tell you about summer camp or after school program. Hector was participating from the very beginning when the center opened in all those activities. And as a teenager, he was our volunteer too. And that's why we know the family, we know Hector.
We saw him grow. So he was part of the center, how Rosana said, from the very beginning. Once we opened our doors, he was here, and not only as a scholar, but as a volunteer too.
And for people who are hearing this story for the first time maybe, or who don't have the information that they need to know, where can they find all of this, the GoFundMe page? What can they look at to get involved with this cause?
We have all information posted on our website, so at hip1.org, or we have it posted on our social media, Hazleton One Community Center, both Facebook and Instagram, or you can find us at Hazleton1_1 on Twitter. So all the information is there, and you can easily donate online or send us a check to 225 East 4th Street, Hazleton, PA. Yeah.
And aside from the GoFundMe page for Hector, you guys, we want to boost, the community center a little bit more and just talk about other things that people can look forward to. So any upcoming programs, we're now entering the summer, so obviously everybody's getting kind of programs going. So what can we look forward to coming out of the center here?
For example, we're going to start a summer camp. Last year was suspended, but this year we had two different groups, one in the morning, 10 to 1 p.m., another group, 1 to 3:30 p.m. 50 children in the morning, 50 children in the afternoon. We had a couple of spaces available for them. And at the same time, we are open the registration for the after-school program and for the pre-K program, the reading program, and probably in August, we're gonna open again the gym that was closed for a year. But now it's time that the city is going back little by little.
Yeah, taking into consideration all COVID precautions and policies that we have implemented in the center.
And for more information about all of these programs, anything that people can find, where can they go?
They can always check our website, again, hip1.org, our Facebook page, social media channels, or just call the center and ask us. We're always glad to answer any questions.
All right, well, thank you guys for talking with us. And thank you folks for joining us here on Community and You on WYLN.
Hey guys, it's Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton. I don't know where you're going to find a nice, good quality pre-owned truck. The word on the street is you can't find them anywhere. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Did I tell you we're at Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton? And I'm sure if you look hard enough for a used truck and go to a nice dealership that has inventory, you'll be able to find a pretty good selection. But the word on the street is you can't find any. So why don't you come here to Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton and find out where we take the deals and have the trucks the other guys don't.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Hi everybody, welcome to Let's Talk Chiropractic. Tune in this week. Shauna DeCosmo is going to show how we explored her whole spine, her headaches from stomach sleeping, her back pain, and her feet pain. So stay tuned for a good show.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Police Chief Brian Schoonmaker's leading the way to kick off this week's series.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leading the Way, where we explore the backstories of those paving NEPA towards a better future. This week, we're joined by Hazleton City Police Chief Brian Schoonmaker. Welcome.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
And we're going to start off where we always begin. Early childhood. Tell us about growing up and just what that kind of the influences you had in your life and what your aspirations were as a kid.
Well, I grew up between Hazleton, Freeland, Sandy Valley area. Most of my time was spent in Freeland up until probably I was in my later teens, but during my teenage years, I had been coerced into joining the Freeland Fire Department and the Freeland Ambulance Association and started growing into an enjoyment for public service. Eventually, after years of running volunteer with the ambulance and the fire department, I kind of had an itch to try the police field. And thankfully I was able to get through the academy successfully and moved on to eventually my first police job in Klein Township in 1998. From there I joined the force in Freeland and just kind of kept rolling with it.
And tell us a little bit about your, before being chief, just your background as an officer.
I started in Hazleton in 2005 for the city of Hazleton. During that time, most of my career had been spent in the patrol division, and eventually, under the Chief DeAndrea, he had promoted me to a detective position and assigned me to the Drug Enforcement Task Force through DEA. And up until recently, I was assigned there, moving along pretty good until Mayor Cassad had asked me to come back and take over due to Chief Spezial resigning.
All right, folks. Check back tomorrow night as Chief Schoonmaker continues leading the way into part 2 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.